Hello, 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 everyone. I'm so happy to be here today with Sensei Victoria Whitfield. She is just such a dynamic and amazing person. And when she said, "Hey, let's kind of talk about this," and I'm like, "Yes, let's go," because so many people, I believe, have issues around sales, either in giving them, right, or nowadays it's how many are freaking in our inboxes, right? So, I'm gonna let Victoria, please, please, please introduce yourself and tell people how wonderful you are.
My pleasure, JP. I'm so happy that you're game to have this conversation because I've been doing a lot of networking and talking with my communities. You and I both run in similar communities of entrepreneurs or business
Mhm.
owners, and this topic of feeling uncomfortable asking for the sale, or especially like fear of it asking for a sale because of bad sales experience, like even feeling kind of scarred. Yeah, I'm excited to bring that up because that's been coming up quite a bit, and I wanted to just have a heart to heart with someone who I know and love, who could flow with this. And of course, you came to mind, my dear.
You
Yeah.
know, if you guys haven't seen it, Victoria was on the Creative Nomad show not too long ago, and our conversation, we probably talked an hour before the conversation, an hour after the conversation, and the conversation itself was like 45 minutes. So she's just one of those people that you want to be in her energy, and I know that you've had people like that you just want to be around and just see. So, what are you seeing out there with people that have, the scars that you're having? I know that for myself, I have this really bad thing about people in my DMs. I mean, like, it's crazy to the point where I refuse, like, absolutely refuse to message people on things, and it's so hard for me because sometimes you really do need to use that as a tool. Like,
Mhm.
"Hey," "Hey, I did the Your Joy workshop this weekend, this yesterday, and it was amazing, and there was 2 people there, and it was because I didn't invite, like, people like I really probably should have,
Mhm.
and said, "Hey, this is going on. Come and check it out. Is this something that would be interesting to you?" Because so many people do it wrong and do it bad and do it horribly, and that I'm scarred. I don't want to like the first thing that and when someone messaged me in my inbox, it's like I don't care what you're even asking.
Mhm.
I'm not even. I'm not. I don't care if I needed it. I don't care if it was free and you were giving me $1 million. You messaged me in my inbox without me requesting it. So, you know, I don't like you anymore.
Yeah, I don't know who you are. What the heck? What are you trying to get from me? Yeah.
Right.
I'm in my head, I'm giggling and hugging you because how we got on this live is I DM'd you. Oh my God. Hey, baby, I was thinking about blah, blah, blah. And you're like, yes, I love you. Let's go.
But okay, now the difference is you're someone I consider a really good friend,
Yeah,
right? You're
yeah.
someone that we have built a relationship. So when she messages me, it was like, okay, yeah, sure. Okay, it was a yes or no. It wasn't like, hey, do you need, in this, we're gonna have this whole conversation, and then I'm gonna sell like, a course or this or that or this. And it was like, it wasn't about that. It was just about having this conversation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so the relationship was there, and
Mhm.
that's where the DM came from. It didn't come clean out of like, "Hey, I saw you own a business. You need my service, right?" Just like just
Oh my
slide
god.
right.
Did you feel I literally had someone do that to me yesterday.
Oh my God, no, I get it all the time. I get it
Yes.
all the time.
"Oh, you're a coach. Let's talk." I'm like, "Yes, and I have coaches, and I have a community of coaches, and I have a community of people. I probably don't, let's, say hi. Hi.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi.
How
Hi,
about
who are you?"
it's kind of like the vision that I get in my head is like, well, I don't drink anymore, but if you ever gone to the bar and someone kind of just you're minding your own business, like maybe even talking to another friend or just like enjoying your drink, and someone comes in and be like, "Are you exhausted?" 'Cause you've been running through my mind all night.
Basically, and a lot of these people are even more direct than that. It's like, "Nice boots, wanna fuck in the bathroom."
Yes!
That's what they're doing. It's the equivalent. Like, and my friend Chad always says that they're trying to, bang in the back of a Chevelle.
Yeah,
So
I love it.
and I'm like, "No,
No,
no,
no.
no." And we and so it's this conversation about, like, and so I'm so sensitive to it now
Yes.
that even people that aren't necessarily doing that is in that extreme, right? That we have this conversation that's where they're going. So
Mhm.
even when they start a nice conversation, trying to get to know you, you're like, "Oh, who are they?" And then you're going into their stuff and all their stuff, and then you're like trying to figure out where they're trying to go, and instead of just being in a moment.
Yeah, 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 the trust is compromised, and so we're watching like, "All right, got my bullshit meter
Mhm.
ready, ready to go. Like, let me see. Is it gonna go off? Is it go off? Get the hell out of my DMs. I don't
And
want to talk to you."
in fact, I am looking, I know for a fact that I have probably 50 or 60 VAs on my stuff, right? And I'm looking for a VA.
Mhm.
And and I am so just burnt out with all of it that I don't even want to post it. I'm like, I'll do it my own damn self. I'm okay. Like,
Oh, I feel you. I feel you, my dear. Like, oh my gosh. By the way, hot second. I didn't answer your very first question. If anyone doesn't know me, Corey Whitfield, friend of JP's. I happen to be the founder of strategicmeditation.com. I'm a spiritual business coach, right? So I help people arrive at decision making using shamanic vision journey meditation, keeping people productive and in flow using their intuition. So I forgot to say that because I'm just like, I love you. And I'm like, yeah, I want to talk to
let's go. I know. This is the thing. I'm like, we're not doing this as part of a podcast. I'm not doing this as anything I normally do. We're just gonna flow until we can't flow anymore. So,
you.
but it's such like I said, it's such an important conversation to heal.
Yeah. Yeah, I have so like I think I could literally pull up I don't want to put anyone on blast, but I could literally pull up examples of and what's interesting, you get so many DMs that you notice there's a structure to
Mhm.
it's like you are following somebody's script and you're working some sort of a program. I got you. And also, get the hell out of my DM. I don't know. It's like I'm going to ignore you
Mhm.
and delete, or if it's particularly offensive, of like I've had people where it's not just the DMs, also the prospecting emails. Uh, like if the way that like there's a way to be curious about helping me out. Thank you. And
Mhm.
there's some people who just literally is like, looks like you need some help with your marketing. Like
Your your website, yeah, your the famous one, your website. I was just on your website and I saw this and this and this, and you have this error and that error and this error. Mind you, I've been building websites since 1997.
Oh my god.
I know what's there. I know what I can improve. There's things because my it's not a priority because you really don't get sales for a website. I'm sorry to tell you people, it's
Yes. And
it's not. Your website is there and it's a great tool and it's something that you may need to have, okay, at a certain level,
mhm,
right? But it's not going to get you sales.
that's not what does it.
That's not what's there at all. I don't care what's on that website. I don't care, even funnels these days because everyone is so conditioned for funnels.
Funnel stuff.
Everyone went to this funnel idea, right? And I look at them and I'm like, okay, I was trained on how to do funnels. I can create funnels today, like all day long, do the whole thing. And and you're just gonna, if you haven't created the relationship before and don't have the systems after,
Yeah.
nothing you do on that site is gonna help you.
You are speaking truth. Let me tell you. So about funnels, like I did the 2 Comma Club X coaching program 2 times, right? So that means, just for anyone who's curious, that means I've spent $60,000 with Russell Brunson at least.
Mhm.
And being in that program, I can tell you there were people who had been in for more longer than I was, and they're like, well, maybe I should, what, I think I want to start a funnel. And I'm like, you already paid him like 50, $100,000. You don't even have a funnel yet. But come to find out, they're making money not because it's the funnel, they're using it as a networking
Mhm.
opportunity, because this, like the relationships, just like you said, JP,
Mhm.
that's where it's at, being able to build relationships and also have a sense of how to, like, listen to people and know what to say to move elegantly to helping somebody. Right,
Yeah.
that's what it's really about. And I've also met people in the program. So the program anywhere, it had like maybe around a good 500 people in it. Right, so I've that's like my sampling. It's not like, oh,
Yeah.
I know maybe a couple of people. No, this is around a 500-person sampling, like data sampling.
Yeah.
And they're, most of the people have tons of funnels. So they keep building more, keep building more, keep building. Made no money, taking out second mortgages, taking out of their 401k and all of this stuff to be in this ridiculously expensive
Yeah.
coaching program. I think of it more as a networking opportunity.
Mhm.
But to be in the coaching program, which is building funnels as if that's what's going to get you paid. Just because you throw up a buy link doesn't mean money is going to magically appear. That's not
Can we
sales.
can we come to that system? Can we please come to that system? Because I have some buy links for y'all, right? I have some buy links, and it's funny because back when I started online, right, and started doing all this stuff online, one of the things I did was help authors self-publish, right? And so I was working in the self-publishing, and then I worked for a minute, I worked with a publisher, and I was doing some stuff. But when we first started Facebook groups, when Facebook groups first started, right, you could literally put a buy link. You can drop a buy link and you would have sales.
Mhm,
Like, it was crazy. And that lasted about 6 months, right? Before people started seeing that they had to make a relation, and with the blurb and everything else. But, basically it was a place to put your link to Amazon.
mhm,
And it worked for a minute. And now those groups, because I still work with a couple authors, um, don't work at all. And now there's the referral system, and people are like, I'm looking for this trope. I'm looking for this kind of story, and people will recommend, and there'll be like 50 or 60 recommendations. And if the author recommends it, they normally don't work. It doesn't work. It has to be one of their friends. So sometimes one of my author friends will message me and say, "Hey, put this there." But if I don't see it,
oh my gosh. Like, it's continued to evolve, and like it's it's just like with relationships. If you're trying to communicate with someone and show that you're interested, it's one thing to text them your interest, right? So there's all that emotional remove, making it digital, versus calling them and you have to hear their voice and they can hear yours, versus seeing them in person. There's degrees of intimacy. And in the, like, that degree of intimacy, or how do you say, communication awareness, or EQ rather, right? Our how do you say, emotional quotient, like your intelligence around expressing emotion, relating to another person, how good you are at that, needs to be more developed, in the amount of intimacy that you're engaging. You don't have to have too much EQ if you're just like, I'm gonna send, do you like me, or like, do you want to go out, or I think you're hot. sending it through Tinder, right, or through
Yeah.
stuff or whatever you're doing, right? So it's the same as in the Facebook groups of like dropping the buy link or like, okay, I'm just gonna try and figure it out because it's that degree of removal. It's low EQ.
Yeah.
And what I've found is that especially the times when I've had really negative lead generation and sales experiences when it wasn't very emotionally intelligent. It felt scripted. It felt unaware of me personally, like as I'm receiving it, like on the receiving end of crappy sales and crappy lead generation techniques. It's just like I am like my name is inserted into a template and it feels impersonal, right? There's a low sense of EQ versus when I've had positive sales experiences, it was like I felt like someone was listening to me. And I even more so, I felt I was listening to me.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. So this is not an online example, but it's a great example of someone sucking at sales. I think it was last year. I was getting ready to finish up my lease on my car, and I'm like, I know what kind of car I want to buy. I'm like, I'm in a Honda Civic. I want to move on up. I want to have either a Mercedes or a Honda Genesis, right? So I go to the Mercedes dealership, and I bring the best salesperson I know, actually my dad, with me, and I'm like, I need you as my shield because you can outsell any crappy salesman. He's an entertainer. He's spiritually thoughtful. He's amazing. He could sell Ice Gin Eskimo. And he was like, all right. He also has as we say in the Black community, he got game.
I got it.
So he's got game. Like when he can talk to any lady, ladies love dad. You know, dad's awesome. And so we go in there, and the first thing that the sales guy does is walks up and looks at my dad and say, "Hey, sir, it looks like you're buying something for your teenage daughter. I'm 36. You looking for something? Well, you can find our most affordable model, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Oh no, she's what buy it today." And the guy thought he was joking, so he continued to try and like direct us towards the cheapest or pre-owned this. I went over to the nice thing that I actually researched. I'm like, "Oh, I want this," and he didn't even look over his shoulder. So my dad, just followed me over where I was going. So first sign paying attention. I get into the car in the showroom. I start feeling it out or playing with it had rainbow lights or whatever. The only thing my dad does is leans into the window, says, "How do you feel?" And nothing. Whereas the other guy's like, "You guys are in the wrong part. You should be coming over here." So bad sales. And when I told him what I wanted, he laughed at me. Right? So awful. Like he's like, "Oh, what are you kidding me? You want a Genesis? You're gonna be back here. You're gonna buy a Mercedes. You're ridiculous. That's so funny. Your daughter's funny, sir." And that like is a prime example for me of terrible sales. Someone who's
Yeah.
not at all paying attention. He was trying to run through his own format of see a dad with a daughter sell cheapest car, like just running through the script as if he's some
Mhm.
sort of a robot. Whereas my dad's awesome. He just like the only thing he did was follow where I went and then asked, "How do you feel?" And just listened. Just
Yeah.
listen. So I was able to have a better sales experience with him versus the actual salesperson. I see this online all the time of people like with the DMs that you were saying, JP, of people telling you what your website needs,
Yeah.
right? Or someone trying to tell me what that I need a VA. I'm like, that's okay. I have quite a few. Yes, Stephanie. Oh my gosh.
Stephanie is amazing. Have you met Victoria? Have you met Stephanie?
No, I'm
Oh my
excited
God.
to. Got it.
You two need to get together. She is another one that I can sit here and talk to for 10 days and we would go, "Oh, we need food." And go back. um, just one of the most amazing people I know. She has a cookbook, D for Freakinglicious,
Mm,
um, and it's all healthy. Doesn't have to taste bad or something.
amen.
It hasn't. Yeah, and I'm sorry. I totally interrupted a whole.
I'm following. No, 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 no. And I'm so glad that you brought Stephanie into the chat because like we know what it is,
Mhm.
right? And I can't, by the way, Stephanie, send me a DM. I see you're on Facebook. Hop on over. Like, I want to live stream with you and continue this conversation from uh your standpoint because there's so many examples of bad sales on and offline. And yeah, mama, can't wait. Mwah, she said she will do. Like for me, I had this weird like I had this weird experience where I realized that and we kind of started off this way in our conversation, JP, is like there's like a connection between someone who's good at sales and someone who's like kind of good at bed or who's like there's like an awareness of sensuality and consent,
Mhm.
I think, and I feel very deeply inherently to sales because like you're listening, you're communicating, you're for me, my relationship with sales, you tell me, JP, mine shifted when I realized that getting someone's consent is literally everything. Just like not like having being touched
Yeah.
or propositioned without a person's consent, it's like that's the make or break. If I don't let you know I'm into you, don't freaking touch me. Don't freaking touch me.
Yeah.
It's like it's same in the bedroom as well as the set. Like you tell me what's coming up for you hearing this, JP.
Yeah, definitely. So it's challenging. Okay, I work online. I get it. It's a challenge, right? It's a challenge on that where on that path are you? And one of the things that I've really made it a point to do lately is to ask. So if someone's responding to a post, hey, is it okay if I message you? Wait for it. Is it okay? Because if I and then think of that the other day, but it's that tricky moment, right? Because you're still trying to sometimes you're trying to do something, right? And I put out a post around um, basically it was a poll, and I messaged people that respond to the poll, and I didn't get consent for that,
Mm,
right? So if you respond to the poll, I sent you a message. And it wasn't hey, I have, let's go to bed. It was, hey, I saw you needed help with this. Is it okay if I ask you a few questions? Let's see if I can help you in any way. It was nothing, nothing like, hey, let's do this. And I got some responses. I got some that didn't. And I got, it was a mixed bag because it was less although it was consent, it was less consent. Like I made a phone call that they may or may not have wanted. You know,
mhm.
I came up in the bar and I walked up in the bar and I said, "Hey, you look really nice. Is it okay if I would like to get to know you a little bit?" And they were like, "No, I don't want to get to know you." And you're like, "Okay,
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Go for no. Like
well, great."
that's so good though that you like coming up and asking a question and not like the canned offensive question of like, hey, it looks like you have a problem, do you want me to solve that for you, kind of like
Yeah,
a canned offensive question, but asking a question of like getting curious. I know for me when someone's expressing bye Steph, looking forward to connect with you. Yay! So happy. Thank you, JP,
he's
for
so
that.
awesome. Can't
Yeah, I'm
wait.
so happy.
I
I'm like,
want I need messaged on that because I want to make sure that I see that because I can't imagine the internet's gonna break with you two in the same room.
I can't wait. Oh my God, it's gonna be so good. Yay! Yeah, but like, so with like how to approach, like how to approach the art of approaching is a thing,
Mhm.
romantically and professionally, the art of approach. And it's, well, for one, reading the room. I mean, oh my god, by the way, Think and Grow Rich, one of the most famous books of all time. Don't forget that chapter on sex transmutation. Like literal, and he says the from one in that chapter how the most successful salespeople were the ones that were the most sexed. That is
Mhm.
a direct quote, and go someone Google it, post it in the comments below, because that, like, having a sense of sensual awareness of, okay, let me read the room, let me see, okay, it looks like this person is genuinely looking for something. First of all, okay,
Mhm.
I'm paying attention. All right. And this person is now also asking, like, does anyone know about, like, does anyone know any coaches about blah, 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 or anyone know about sales, or does anyone know about blah, 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 blah? Like, they're looking for answers.
Mhm.
And so finding someone who's looking for something is the first thing, versus finding people who aren't indicating that they're looking and then trying to convince them that they need something that they don't know about and aren't looking for. Like, you're already set up for a crapshoot if you're how do you say, prospecting someone who is not looking for what you offer. Just
Mhm.
there's abundance out there. Why not read the room and say, okay, let me look for someone who's asking for what I specialize in. Interesting. And then one of my go-tos is to get curious, like to ask more about them and their situation, or to offer any insights that I feel, just to, they say, add value, right?
Yeah.
Try and solve some problems right out the gate as a normal, friendly human being, right? Good Samaritan style.
Mhm.
And if that person resonates with you, great. The next step is to ask them, like, well, can I talk to you, or can't, like you said, JP, can I send you a direct message, right? Or if someone's on the phone, you're at, for me, I always listen to a person's story of, like, here's the things that's challenging them and frustrating them, and then I make sure to ask, do you want my help with that?
Mhm.
Or even before I outright say that, I'll say, is it okay if I ask you a question? They're like, sure. And my question is, do you want my help with that? And I'm good with no, because baby, I gotta keep going. Right.
Mhm.
Next.
Nothing worse than dragging a client. Nothing worse than dragging a client. I
Mhm.
actually had one. I had a client. I have 2 clients beta testing this new program for me. And one of them said, "You know what? I'm not ready for this," and left. And I could have kept them, and I could have taught them into it because it is what he needs. And he wasn't ready for this. I'm like, "Okay, cool. Love you. Thank you. How can I help you in your journey?
Mhm.
You know, what can I do? I'm here. I'm supportive. I'm you can come back, you know, but I'm
Mhm.
not gonna fight with you to drag you along at all. I
Yeah.
I I I am I am number 1, I'm not good in a bar. Never was, never would be. I'm just not. So let's start there. I'm not good in the bar,
Me
right?
neither.
I'm one of those people that has to be introduced to somebody almost always, or I need an app. So, you know, really, truly, I'm much more comfortable in that space, right? And this is for years. This is not something new. This is like this has been my whole life. I'm a little shy when it comes to one-on-one interpersonal relationships. I could go into a room full of people and I can speak on stage, I can perform, I can do right, I could strip for God's sakes. I don't even care, right? But put me one-on-one with somebody and try to make me have conversation sometimes that is not that I can't have conversation, but that is not directed like this. We've always had really great conversation. Every time we've spoken, it's been amazing.
Mhm.
So, but I have a purpose. We're here. We're having a conversation about this, and that's okay. And everything, whatever comes out,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
But if we were in a room together, I, I was in a networking event. Okay, good example. I went to this conference. I went to the Unleash You conference. They're doing an online version of it. Make sure you check it out. It's amazing. Um, but I was in Nashville, and I got to be in this room with these people, and half of them I've known from online. Like I've like talked to these people, but being in this room with these people, I like literally started hyperventilating and like had to go. So it was crazy. And it's like, so for me, I find it really challenging sometimes to do that's again another reason why I'm not in your DMs. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna be in your DMs because I don't have game like that. That's not my game.
Mhm.
So I do much better on conversations like this. We'll have a great conversation. And I can show you how like I know the strategies behind going into someone's DMs. And the funny thing is that because of who I am and how I operate, I can have the best pickup line in the world and have the best conversation in the world already set, right? And it won't come out of my mouth that way.
Yeah.
So, and it's not, I'm not trying to beat myself up, right? I have other things I
I'm right
do.
there with you. It's an
Right.
alignment thing. It's an energy thing. Like, I'm not in alignment with the whole DMing someone I don't know thing.
Hmm.
Like, that's just not my flavor. Me personally. Me, if I could put someone on it who's hot on that and they're amazing and natural and they don't make it weird, cool. But for me, if I need leads that's not going to like following somebody else's process is not going to be my go-to flavor. It's
Yeah.
just it doesn't feel authentic. Not that it's impossible, it's just I'm a firm believer that what matters most is how I feel. And if it don't feel right, I'm not going to do it.
Nope.
Yeah.
And I've lost out on dates. I've lost out like we're not even this isn't again sales and dating are very 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 similar,
Sales
right?
and dating, baby.
So I've lost out on dates. I've literally people go he was really into you. I'm like well he shook him up.
That's right.
He should have said something. Send over a freaking drink, something. You know,
Something.
some indication, and I will be all over that like wild race. And funny story. So this is in my youth. So in my 20s, there was a time I dated the stripper. And right after I dated the stripper, and while I was dating the stripper, I was choreographing for him, a couple other of the ones that are at this club here, because I've always, I at that time especially, I did color guard, winter guard, all that kind of good stuff, right?
Yes.
And and I was a good dancer, but I always had just a little bit too much role for stripping, right? I'm not a stripper body. It's not going to happen on any level, and it's okay, right? I'm almost the same exact weight that I was when I was 16, so it's just I've always been this, right? So funny story about this. So I'm up and I'm dancing, and we broke up,
Oh,
like, and he showed up at the bar, and so I'm up on the dance floor and I'm dancing my ass off, and this guy comes up to me, and he's like really hot, really cute, really great, and I'm like I'm all into this, right? And then he goes, "I'll give you $200 to come home and sleep with me." Now the worst part is I would have done it for free, but then he's assuming I'm a hooker.
I love your character.
So in this point in my journey in my life, I'm like, oh my god, he thinks I'm hooker. I can't do this. Right? Now, now this sets up a whole thing about me in sales, right? Because I still have issues with people. Sometimes I have issues with people paying me for what I do, right? So and it comes to things I would do, because I'll do a quick little something because it takes me 15 minutes, and a lot of times for my friends, I'll just go and do it real quick and don't get charged for it, right? I don't charge for it
Mhm.
because it's real quick. And for me, it takes 15 minutes. That would take someone else, a couple hours. But it comes back down to, are you okay with the sale itself? Are you
Ooh,
okay
what?
with the money side of that? I see, you knew I was coming somewhere with this.
And
I
I'm
have a
here
great story for
like
this.
fire ride. You're taking me everywhere, like from the world's worst hooker to the world's
Mhm.
worst salesperson. Oh my god,
Yeah.
yes! Oh my
And
god.
and it's funny because, you just deal with, and it's not because I don't value myself. I know my worth, right? I charge my worth. When I'm charging for what I do, when I think it's my programs are at a level that makes sense, right? So, it's one of the first things I talk to people about. Are you charging what you're worth? Are you charging that? That's one of the things we really talk about because a lot of people are like me and are like, well, I do this easily. Like I can create images in sometimes like 5 minutes because
Mhm.
I have a design eye, and especially if I know what I'm thinking of, and it's just a matter of me finding what I'm looking for, right? So for me, that could take me 5 minutes to create something amazing, and you're like, oh my god, hand it to people. And then I worked with people that couldn't use Canva
Oh my god.
to like a Canva template to put their stuff on, and I'm like, how do you do? Oh my god, let me fix that because because then I can't put it out. I can't let them put that out either, right?
Mhm.
Because it's like your friend that you won't let go out to the bar because they look like trash. you know,
Friends don't let friends
right?
do that.
have
Yeah,
have horrible imaging,
yeah.
right? Like horrible branding. So, I'll go and do that real quick. No, I'm not going to charge you for that. Like in my head, I'm not going to charge you for that. When really it's a 50, $75, like for something like that. It should be 50, $75, something like that. If you got it on Fiverr, that's what you would pay.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, go ahead on in Fiverr and
Right.
search for what the person just asked you to do and watch. So anybody is at least charging $5, but it's usually 50, 70. Oh yeah.
Right.
Fiverr's gotten more expensive over the years. Just saying.
Yeah, Fiverr. And the funny thing is, my friend worked at Fiverr when it first started. It was literally supposed to be for doing that little errand,
Mm-hmm.
like stopping at the grocery store, picking up groceries for somebody, going to, the pharmacy, like local $5 little, like running to something. That's what Fiverr was supposed to be.
I had no idea.
It became this digital marketplace.
Wow. I had no idea. I
Yeah.
legit thought it was like always online thingies. Hmm.
No. It was supposed to be in person. And then we got, things like DoorDash and stuff like that. DoorDash came from the Fiverr idea.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Like, but you got me thinking of like, okay, what what's my first sales card was actually around money is spiritual.
Mhm.
Girl, bye. I mean, yes and no. Cause for me, when I was studying to be a Reiki master the first time, part of studying is you have to practice, right? You have to practice. Some people get used to the experience, get used to feeling the energy or sensing or interacting with people. Just get your practice in.
Mhm.
And so, and side note, I love my Reiki people and notoriously no money. Notoriously of like, oh, sales is slimy and demonic and evil. Oh my god, notoriously. But I love and yet the practice is beautiful. So okay, like I had to get in hours similarly to anyone who studied massage. You got to
Mhm.
get a number of hours practicing or a number of patients or clients seeing. And so I was going and volunteering to do Reiki at, thank God I was led to do this, at a local metaphysical book and gift store. Right. I was set up literally in a closet with the doors removed. I've come out of the closet since.
Ooh.
Yes, thank God. The literal closet with the doors removed and one metal folding chair, and that was my office in the little metaphysical book and gift store. And I was doing just try Reiki, and that was how I was getting in my practice hours. And the shopkeeper came over and she's like, why don't you? She would just slide in there every so often and be like, why don't you take down people's names and emails so you could keep track? I'm like, that's a great idea. Oh my gosh, I forgot. And then eventually she would slide in and be like, everybody loves what you're doing. Maybe you should come here more often. I'm like, okay, yeah. And so once a week, I would volunteer so I could keep getting consistent practice in. And she would slide in there and being like, well, everybody has a $20 bill. Everybody has a $20 bill. Why don't you do like 15 minutes for 20 bucks? And I'm like, oh, I don't feel comfortable with that. This is what I used to say. The experience is worth more than the money to me.
Yes.
The experience is worth more than the money to me. I love seeing the change in people, how they go from being stressed out to relaxed. It's beautiful. This is a sacred practice, all this blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, I was paying to learn Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
I was paying for my parking outside of it because it was like you have to pay the meter to even be there so that I could volunteer my services. Of course, I was paying for my car that got me there. Like I could keep going down the list of all the things that I paid in order to work on these people,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't matter. No, the experience is worth more than the money. And so what happened over time is she would put out the thing of like, $15, $20, 15 minutes. Like they printed it out and they're like, just leave it out. That's what our previous person used to do. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, fine. And it was really uncomfortable for me seeing that, but people kept coming back and say, okay. And I would advise them in anything I'd see intuitively. And they're like, well, can I work with you one-on-one, or can I get a longer than 15-minute session? I'm like, no. Or, anything over that is free, or blah, blah, blah. I learned the hard way. Thank God. The daughter of the shop owner was like, you have worked on me consistently for weeks. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes. One time you worked on me 3 hours. I can't even buy you a sandwich or anything. I want you to know, I don't know if you're aware of this, but coming to you now, you've changed so much for me. I feel guilty actually coming and receiving all of this wonderfulness from you. And that hit me in the stomach. I'm like, I didn't know. I thought I was making everyone feel better. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that I could be spreading guilt and shitty feelings, not asking for money. So
Yeah.
Tell me.
Money is an energy exchange.
Yes.
Money is energy. And if you are not feeling the energy exchange, if you're not, whatever, right? And you've all had that shitty job, right? We've all had it. All had it. And at times, even the good jobs are shitty, right? You're like, I'm not getting paid enough for this.
Amen.
Right? You said that because the energy that you're putting out isn't what you're getting in, and you're still struggling. And what a lot of the things that we're dealing with now, right, is that if I'm going to struggle, what you're seeing in the service industries, especially the lower paid service industries, what you're seeing is if I'm going to struggle, I'm going to struggle doing something that I don't have to have all that energy expended.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm going to struggle anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So here, let me go and work on Fiverr, and like, let me go and do that because I don't need to sit in a restaurant making pizzas for, $12 an hour. I can literally make $20 for 15 minutes because I know what the hell I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I get $20. Oh, okay, no problem. I'll do this all day long. I'll do 5 of them a day. That's $100 a day. That's what I was making, a lot of times that's what they're making at these restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
And when the people talk about, well, it's $15 an hour, yes. And every time they complain about every time they've raised minimum wage, everyone complains about it.
Yeah,
I
what
mean,
the
absolutely every time. I remember when minimum wage was 2.75, and the first time it went up to like $5, right? Like it was insane. It like almost doubled, right? And what happened, and everyone was going crazy, absolutely insane over this increase,
mm,
right? The restaurants. I'm like, and I worked in a corporate restaurant. They're like, oh my God, it's gonna kill us, it's gonna kill us. No, people can actually afford what you sell. They might jump up a level. Like if they're importing at this level, so they're importing at Little Caesars, they might move to Pizza Hut.
mhm,
Right? Like because not that it's all that much different, but there's a little bit of classism. Or they might go to a nicer restaurant local. They might go to, they were going to Denny's before. They're going to go maybe to go to Longhorn
mm,
once a month. You know, just a it changes everything, and we got a big, huge boost in business because people had more disposable money. In the United States, what happens when you raise minimum wage? What happens when you give Americans money? They spend it. They don't
mm.
save it. They spend it. All of our shipping issues was because Amazon and all the things got backed up too much because we were sitting at home with money and looking around going, I need something to fill the hole.
I don't know where all that money comes from, by the way. Incredible. So much we could buy out all the toilet paper on planet Earth, honey.
On
Amazing.
demand. On demand. I can have it delivered to my house. I don't even have to go to the store. I'm gonna get my toilet paper. I'm gonna buy a stock in toilet paper, and and it's in my warehouse because now I need a warehouse of toilet paper just in case.
Yeah, prepping. Hashtag
Prepping.
prepping. Yes. Oh my God.
One,
Like, the Americans are full of just shit joke is official. Like,
yeah,
it's made official.
yes. And, and the funny thing is that other people around the world are like, how is it toilet paper? Like, don't they have bidets? They wipe themselves with dry ass paper. Like what? How are they getting clean?
We're not, world. We're not.
Yeah.
We need help. We need help. Somebody, come on now. Ship a bidet with the next toilet paper shipment and try
Yes.
like infiltrate.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
so many funny stories there.
Yeah.
Um, I could talk about trying to hook up a bidet in an RV. That didn't work very well.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my god, it was so horrible. It doesn't work, by the way. Or at least I couldn't get it to work. If you could get it to work, please send me your design plans because it was a mess. A mess. um
My imagination's running wild. Love it.
all everything that you're thinking is probably pretty darn close. Like the yeah. So yeah, let me just say that I never sat down. It never happened. I ended up taking it out.
Oh my god.
Couldn't get it to work because the system is different. Like it's different than a house system. It doesn't work the same way. Um,
Oh my god, I love you.
so again, sales. Trying to sell me a bidet is probably RVers trying to sell a bidet to an RVer is probably not a good idea. Although it would make sense. I'm out, but I'm also on water restrictions and stuff like that. There's
Yeah.
other things, but I'm out and about. I'm not gonna probably use a bidet.
Mhm.
Now give me wet wipes, you know, and
Yeah.
there's this really cool product on the market. Just FYI, they're called Dude Wipes.
I've heard of them. I've heard
Okay,
of them. They're like, aren't they cooling booty wipes as well?
they're for everything, right? But they're a little bit bigger,
Oh, okay.
right? So they're not like the classic wet wipe. They're
Kind of
a
small.
bigger, they're almost the size of a wash rag.
Hmm. Okay,
Mhm.
that big.
So if you're on water restrictions, literally, you can do the whole whore bath with these dude wipes and keep, everything all nice and fresh and kitty, you know.
Yes.
So just out there,
I
they're
didn't. I didn't know I could do a horror bath. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
just in case you needed,
Yes. Well, oh my God, no. When Hurricane Sandy hit,
Mhm.
we were without power for I think it was like 18 days. So it was a little more than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
No power, no water. Like it was cold. It was cold. And that was back when I drank. So I would have to have like a few shots of rum just to go to sleep each night because it
Oh,
was so
fun.
cold.
Yeah.
Um, it was at the point where like we could only do like get a little bit of water on a rag and try and wash up the
Mhm.
day. I remember it was after like 10 days of that, I was able to finally they removed there were two oak trees that fell on our street, so no one could get out.
Right.
Finally they removed one and I went to work in another town. They had power, they had hot water, they had heat, everything. And I took a shower in the sink in the bathroom at work, and I was sobbing, crying
Yeah.
because it had been 10 days. Like I'm like, oh my God, I was sobbing, crying. Like I can't believe it's hot water. So that real talk, I would have loved a dude wipe back then. I
Mhm.
wouldn't have to suffer so much.
Yeah,
Just
I laughed my when I was in Texas, so I stayed a month last year. I stayed a month on the beach on the Gulf Coast, and literally I was parked on the beach. You can't buy real estate this good. I
mm,
was I was joking where I was sitting, it was like 100 feet to the Gulf, like on the sand, and
fabulous.
I stayed there for a month. It was lovely, it was beautiful, it was great, but it was summertime in Texas, okay? And the Gulf kept things the breeze was good for the most part. There was only one day that a couple days that was like, "Oh my god, no, I went over to the state park and, like, plugged in and put air conditioning in, but, took a longer shower, but, I was laughing because I was there and I'm on I at that point, I was planning on only leaving a couple times to get water and stuff like that, and, like, I had things planned, right? And I know it takes me 2 weeks to go through my water for as long as I'm not drinking. I use different water for drinking, so it takes me 2 weeks. Um, it was hot, and it's sandy, and it's nasty, and your fingers are, like, literally, there's sand and salt in between your fingers.
Ooh,
It like, not going outside, just sitting
yeah,
inside, there was stuff. Um,
ooh.
it ruined my laptop. By the way, don't do this, right? Don't spend a whole month on the beach in Texas because they drive on the sand, and so it pulls up the sand, and with the breeze, it sandblasts everything,
Mm.
okay? So, as you're going through, like, my hard drive failed at about a week like 2 weeks later.
Whoa.
My I had 2 of my gates rusted out, and my, RV, my truck bed got, messed up, and, like, there was things, like, it, like, destroyed my things, but I realized I'm sitting here and I'm like, "I can't take another shower right now. I need a shower, and I can't take a shower right now." Right? And a dude wipe wasn't helping. I'm like, "Okay." There's like, literally, as soon as you do it, you're feeling gritty again. I'm like, "What's going on?" And then I looked out and I realized I'm sitting at the ocean. Like, the simple freaking solution that you're not thinking about, right? That solution that you're like, it's right in front of your face, right? And I use all natural soaps. I'm not killing anybody.
Yeah.
I went and grabbed my I went and grabbed my Gold Bar from Melaleuca, and I'm like, I walked out there, and I'm like, I washed up, and I started laughing at my. And as I'm doing, I'm laughing. I'm trying to do it kind of quietly because the day I did it was one of the busier days on the beach, and I'm like trying to like not look like I'm going out there and taking a bath in the ocean, right?
Mhm.
So and but I'm cracking up laughing at myself because I'm like, really, Jeffrey? Like, and that's the problem is that sometimes the easiest solutions are in front of your face.
Right in front of your face. Yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that, and I feel that that is so perfect, given what we've been talking about because, like, it doesn't have to be ridiculously complicated. And it's what if everything that you need in order to get more sales in a loving and authentic, elegant way is just it's simple and it's right here, right? I mean, let me be frank. Somebody reach out to JP, talk to him, right? He's a love and can talk to us to the cows come home. Reach out to me, right? The answer may be right there in front of you. Ask a question
Yeah.
is what I would say, to activate the resources. Like, because I know I'm the queen of acquiring resources and not activating them. I just keep piling them. I'm like, let me get something new. Let me join another program. But asking a question of the people who are around you, right, is literally how to turn on your resource, your network. There is so much love. Or you know what? Let's have more conversations about this. Let's get curious about it. I feel that what you said is like so perfect, given that like the answer could be literally right in front of your face. Just ask a question.
Now, one of the things I love, okay, I've met Victoria through a networking event through Rocket Fuel, who, if I don't give a shout out to Wanda, she's like again, one of those people. Like, and funny story. Speaking of DMs, we have a message that for all the people that are going to these networking events to just talk to each other,
Mhm.
right? And she reminded everybody that I had a workshop yesterday. I didn't say anything about this workshop. I didn't tell anybody anywhere. I didn't go into DMs. She's the one that reminded me. So by keeping these networking events are amazing.
Mhm.
I think that they can be amazing, even if you're quiet. Find ones if you are like me who are might have issues like opening up right there, right in the moment. Find ones that are structured.
Yes.
Wanda's is really amazing. Rocket Fuels is really amazing because she structures it. She asks you direct questions that are leading and probing.
Hmm.
And so you don't have to sit here and think about it,
Yeah.
right? And everyone's there to help you. So if they have a question or they have a way for you to clarify something, or they will tell you, hey, maybe you can say that this way. Or maybe they can, or ask the question, what does that mean to you? So you can get your messaging a little more clear, a little more concise, a little more, so you can be a little more confident when you do have to be in that one-on-one situation, right? Because I get terrified. I get it,
Hmm.
right? I have heart palpitations. Someone asked me in live the other day what I did, and I was like, I'm a coach, and they're like, well, a coach of what? Little League? What? And I had to like
A little league.
phrase.
Funny.
Now, that is not as ridiculous as it sounds. I'm an award-winning championship kickball player. Thank you very much. I was the worst person on the team. Very worst. And my award is most improved. Okay, so
That's good marketing.
right. But still, you know, we, sometimes if you're an introvert like I am, I really am. I'm one of those weird. I can't remember what it's called. I'm a campaigner. I'm one of those people that's really introverted, or a counselor. Sorry, I'm one of the people that's really introverted, but I can get in front of people. It's the big scope I can do, the little scope I can't.
Oh.
So when people hit me with questions like, "What do you do?" Well, I'm coach. I'm an online coach. I help people, clarify their vision, and I had to like really work on the languaging of what I do, right? And it's different. And one of the things that really helped me, actually, I was on Victoria's podcast right after I was on Wanda's, right? And Wanda's podcast, my messaging wasn't as clear and concise. On Victoria's, because I did Wanda's podcast and the networking event that week, I think on Victoria's podcast, I'm like a seasoned professional, right? And I've been doing podcasts for freaking years. I know how to do these things. It's not, but for some reason, sometimes it's easier than others, you know.
Mm.
So having those points, those things are really important when
Mhm.
you're talking to people and being able to communicate clearly what your vision is,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know. And sometimes I do a good job at it. Sometimes I don't. We're human. You know, I try to say things different ways sometimes because I get sick of saying the same thing over and over again. Um, because I feel like I'm a record and I feel like I'm scripted and I'm not scripted. So I say it differently, and then I'm like, and then they're like, "Well, what does that mean?" You're like, "Go back to the script." Um,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
so what would if we're going to give people what is the biggest tip you could give somebody right now that's heard this whole thing? We've talked for an hour.
Surprise!
I know.
All. Not at all
Not even a
surprised.
little bit. Not even. I'm like sitting here going, if I didn't, I know that I have other things I have to do today, and I'm like going, we could sit here for another hour and be totally okay.
Absolutely. I love you. This is easy. But
Uh-huh.
to begin landing the plane,
Yeah.
I would have to say my biggest tip is tips. Just the tip that
Just
I
a tip. Let's give people just a tip, people. Just a tip.
just the tip that I would end with, I would have to say, is that the more that you ask people questions about themselves, just fucking listen to people. Like, stop with this um sharing the scripts. The script is for you. It's not for anybody else. That's there in case you're like, I know for me, when my brain falls out, because I know it will, I get excited. When I talk to people, I get excited, I'm talking to you, and I'm like, what the fuck was I talking about? That the script is for me to fall back on, not to lead of like, here's this is how I'm going to connect with somebody else. And instead of a script, just ask a question, get curious about other people, and that's going to lead. In fact, one of the best things I was ever taught, was by this amazing older Black woman who was a professional speaker. And she said, she had literally, she was wearing pearls and like a Chanel suit, like big mama goddess sort of thing. And she's like, I'm going to tell you how to open all doors. You want to hear? And I'm like, yes, yes. So I'm going to tell you how to open all doors. It's 2 words. I'm curious, which is technically 3, but I'm curious. Always say I'm curious, and that's gonna open all doors. And I'm like, but I received that activation from her. And it's true. It's true. When you say to someone, I'm curious, and you ask them, like, they will immediately get curious too. And you could ask them anything or ask them about themselves. That is an icebreaker. Now, don't bullshit, I'm curious, and not have anything to say, right? Or have some sort of canned thing. But just biggest final tip is ask questions, get curious about people. And if you don't know how, take that script of I'm curious, fill in blank with person and play with that. What about you, JP? What if you were to land the plane, what's your
Land
biggest?
the plane. The biggest thing I can say, find a find a group. Really stop using groups for marketing and start using them for connecting. Stop using groups for marketing and start using them to connect. How can you connect with somebody? How can you I one of the things I've been working very hard on, very, very hard on, because I'm just like you guys. I got trained. I have sales. I have all the sales stuff. I've done all the stuff. I've done it all, and it's hard to break yourself because sometimes it works and sometimes it don't, and you deal with this. But one of the biggest things I tell people now, right, and one of the biggest tips I can give you is that I want to go in. If I go into a group, the first thing I want to do is not post. I want to go and actually answer a few questions. I want to go down at least three, and see if I have anything to say, right? anything to say whatsoever, and stop liking and start commenting. This goes for
Mhm.
anybody,
Mm.
right? And anytime you want it to be a negative comment and you're triggered and you're going off, screenshot it and send it to your best friend and say what you're gonna say.
Get it out.
Get it out, because you gotta get and once I started doing that, right, my peace of mind is so much better. Okay, my algorithms are so much better. I don't see a lot of the BS because I stopped commenting on the BS. So they're not going to feed you more, because whatever you focus on expands. And Facebook is the great law of attraction.
Mhm.
You say it out loud, it listens, it sends you an ad. Like literally, it
Nice.
does this for you. You like or comment on something, you view something, it's going to send you more of that. It's the greatest law of attraction. So if you can start having conversations, right, and start having that in your groups, and stop thinking I want to sale, I want to connect. That's going to completely change your whole game and how you feel about it. Instead of timer.
Mhm.
So I know that's a lot of tips, but yeah, but really set a timer, go into your group, look at the first 3 or 4 messages, and if it's all sales, get out of it.
Mhm.
Just leave the group. I'm in 1,000 groups, I think. I don't know. I think I'm
Lost
active in, yeah, I'm active in 3.
Yeah, I've lost count. I'm not active in all of them, but I've joined a ton, and the timer is literally everything for because that stops the addictive flow. So like I couldn't agree more. So let's land the plane because I know you and I both
I
got a
know.
scoot on. We could keep going.
We
Well,
could.
let's have a round two if need.
We
Let's have
yeah, we can have talks. We could just do talks all the time.
yes.
Guys, if you literally check out Freedom Entrepreneurs United if you're not there. I think that's the best. That's my community. And I really want it to be a place where people can get the information that they want and they need and make the connections. One of the things we're doing is now it's Tuesday nights. We do have we're going to have a conversation around a topic now, and we'll be doing some structured networking. So check that out. It's Tuesday nights at 6 or 7. Check out the group. It's there. It's posted. The next conversation we are having is around. Um, I don't remember. Oh, creation
Mm.
instead of problem solving. So, what's the real difference between creating something rather than fixing a problem? And it's going to change how you manifest things in your life, how things come to you, because it's a different energy. And again, it talks about the law of focus. It talks about the law of attraction. We're going to have a lot of fun. Um, and yeah, and know her. So what is the one place that people should get to you?
Yeah, yeah. I would say a really great next step. Let's throw out a freebie. So if anyone's watching this, grab your cell phone and text the word ready to 411321. 411321 if you're in the US. And that is going to get you. I created a guide around how to unlock your inner visionary. And so this is about tapping into your intuition in business. In there is also how to connect with me if you want to hop on the phone. So again, that's text the word ready to 411321. Or if you're not inside the US, the long code I think is 19097411321. So it's 19097411321. So that's the long code if you want to get that freebie, how to unlock your inner visionary, tapping into your intuition in business, the right first step. I think that's the next best thing.
I
Anyone want?
forget to find out. I can never remember the numbers.
I got like, hey baby. I forget too. I'm giving myself a high five.
I,
Wanda. Boom, boom. Thank you, baby. Like I'm remembering, like, text that word. It's fabulous. We put a lot of work and a lot of juice, a lot of resources in there. It's totally free for someone to get. Ready?
it,
11321.
and it's amazing. I do have it, the resources, and it's great. Um, yeah, I forget True Awesome Life. You can also do True Awesome Life to 411321, and that will give you my perfect week exercise, which is talks about what your version of success looks like.
Wait, is that all one word? Can you
Yep,
put it on the thing? Put yours.
I can.
Put it on the thing.
As a
True.
matter of fact, I should leave it up here now that
So if you want, like, get both of them because they're both free, y'all. So get a text True Awesome Life. That's all one word, right?
all one word.
There it is, to 411321 to get JP's freebie
Yep,
for your ideal week. And when you text ready to 411321, you'll learn about intuition in business, right? How to unlock your inner visionary. And again, the long code is 19097411321 for all.
19097411321.
Mm-hmm.
She has it all memorized. I am so impressed. I will definitely give Wanda get your gold star from Wanda.
Thank you. I love you.
That one.
There we are. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. I love you.
Thank you.
Game.
Anytime you want to have a conversation with me, we'll have conversations. I'll do weekly conversations with you. I'll do daily conversations with you. I would wake up. She would be one of the people that I would love to wake up. And this is an idea for you. Have a wake up call with Victoria.
Oh, wake up call.
Like,
is this like, hello, wake up for the day, darling?
there we go. That would be awesome too. No, just like a wake up, express your what is it, you want to attack today. You know, something like a wake up morning.
Start your morning in the vortex kind of thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God, with Victoria, that get putting her energy in the first thing, you're gonna be, as Lana says, rocket fuel. You'll be rocketing all day long. You're gonna be like, woo! I get to play with Victoria today. All right.
I love you. I will submit your suggestion to the management. And see
Please do. And guys, I love you all. Thank you, Victoria, for being here today. I will talk to you all soon.